Hey everybody, it's the Drunken Bard, and welcome to my tutorial video today. I'm going to be showing you how to quickly and simply make a Spleef arena. Just kind of a very simplified, quick and dirty Spleef arena, you could say. We are going to be using command blocks because this is again, the quickest and easiest way to make a Spleef arena. All it literally is just the push of a button, and you get all the materials you need to make your arena. Now, I'm not going to explain what Spleef is or how to play it or anything like that, just because I doubt you'd be watching this video if you've never seen it before. But yeah, so the command, and this is, keep in mind, this is command for 1.8, and I can't speak for any future updates. So just, make sure you're on the right update as of right now. But as for 1.8, this is how you would set up the command to fill in a 5x5 area. You're going to do the command fill, and then you're going to put in your first three coordinates, and then your next three coordinates. And let me see. The coordinates, I believe they should actually be, I think, catacorner to each other, like diagonal from each other. So -10, 19, 3, and -548 is one corner. Yeah, and then 552, 3, and 1015. Yep. All right. So this is set up correctly, obviously, because it does work. You will know very quickly if it is not set up correctly, because you'll have blocks off to the side, or just it could be all kinds of mess. But yeah, I will explain. If you've never used command blocks before, it can be a very daunting task. I will explain how to get them first. You have to be in creative mode, firstly. There's no other way to get them. So what you're going to do is you're going to go give, and then you're going to do, just your name, and then command underscore block. And now technically you can give yourself as many blocks as you want. I think you can give yourself up to a stack of 64. But if you're in creative mode, you only need one, because you can place as many of that block as you want. So you can just leave the next space blank. You don't even have to put a 1 in. And then you just do that, and I already had one, but you saw it just gave me another one. And then set it down, right click on it, and here's some very useful commands to use for other things. This will help you out a lot. And yeah, if you have any more questions, I actually may make a general command block video. Come to think of it, I think that would be a good idea. But as for right now, this would be how you would make the Spleef arena, just to replace the snow quickly and efficiently. And then all you'd need to play is like a diamond shovel. And some people like to enchant diamond. Actually, you know what? I am going to explain how to play Spleef. I can't resist it. Now, a lot of people choose to use a enchanted diamond shovel, but this really isn't necessary. So if we actually go to game mode 0, so now we're in survival, you can see how fast a diamond shovel will just tear up the snow. Look at that, just immediately. And that's what you want. You want a tool that is going to tear up the snow very quickly, because the goal of the game is you and at least one other person. It's a multiplayer game. It needs to be you, and I find the more people you can get to play, the better. So you got to make a big arena to get 10 plus players. That's the best way to play the game. You're all together in a giant arena with lots of snow and lava underneath, and your goal is just to be the last guy remaining, last guy standing. And there are dozens of different variations and versions of Spleef. This is to be considered the most basic version. All it requires is the snow blocks and a diamond shovel, and that's it. It really doesn't require anything other than that. So if you would like to make your own Spleef arena, maybe for a server, or just to play with friends, it's really good. This is a good system to have. You can see here doing like a perfect square. It's not necessarily aesthetically pleasing. Personally, I like doing something more along the lines of sort of a circle. So like you would do And just imagine this on a much, much, much bigger scale. So something a little bit more like that. Let me actually go to game mode 1. So imagine on a huge scale, it would be much more rounded and much more circular. And I just prefer that just because it makes it so that your players can't get cornered, because Spleef arenas are always, in a sense, sunk down. There's always walls to prevent people from getting out. So, you know, something like this, I could be running around and, oh, I'm in the corner, and, you know, there's not too many places you can go. You don't want to get yourself cornered. So making a big circle or, you know, multi-layered, multi-leveled designs, that's another idea. But, you know, just look into it. It's a really, really fun game to make and to play. And it's just something to do. It's good for if you've got, you know, just a little bit of time. It doesn't take very long at all. Hardest part, and even this, it's not very hard. If you're making a big version, you need to write down more command blocks, because perfect squares are not going to be able to be used in a, obviously in a circular-ish shape like this. So like what you would do here is you would need, I'd say, at least two. You'd need at least 2 command blocks. You'd have one set to fill in this area. If you can imagine this rectangle right here, just going here. Yeah. And then you'd have another one doing the same thing over here. And you don't have to worry about the spaces being double filled, because whenever a block is in the way, so let's actually fill in a little bit of dirt here. Whenever blocks are in the way, whatever block is being filled will delete the previous block that was there. So it's no problem whatsoever. So just with an idea of something on a larger scale with a lot of corners and a lot of, you know, things, you know, you have to use more. And the toughest part, like I was saying, is just kind of taking note of all the coordinates and writing them down and making sure you have them all correct. Because even one number is off, if you have one letter off, it's yeah, it doesn't turn out so good. But the way this is set up, I don't think I explained fully what it was. You do fill your 2 commands, and it's 2. I don't think you can do any more than 2 sets of coordinates here. And then the third one here is whatever you want filled in. And I know there are some people who use like sand, and this wouldn't necessarily, actually I'm not even gonna, I was about to try it, I'm not even gonna try it. Sand would just drop right into the lava. Some people like to use sand, and then they use like pressure plates, and you're getting into a little bit more of command block work, because it's a little more complicated to make it so that the sand doesn't immediately fall. But yeah, that's the way that's set up. I'd encourage you to, when you're making an arena, don't just make it flush with the ground like this. Actually, I'm going to show you the arena I built in my Minecraft Realm server. I think I actually saved when I was right beside it, so this shouldn't take too long. It's a little bit more grand than the one I was just showing you. And it did take a long time because, and I'll explain this in a minute. That's not it. Over here. This is actually pretty neat. This is just real quick. This is a battle arena that a friend of mine and me, we built together. There's a bunch of different dispensers with a bunch of different mobs in them, and then there's a little switchboard over there. So one person is in the arena fighting off monsters, and the other person is spawning them in. Just a lot of fun. But this is actually my Spleef arena, and it may look, you know, it's definitely a lot bigger, a lot nicer. Hang on, let me actually. There we go. It always rains in this server, and it seems like when it starts raining, it just never stops unless you make it stop. Okay, here is the one I built. I really like the stonework that I did with it, just for the dome and the windows and everything. I was really proud of that. Now the way I did this was before I actually knew you could fill in more than a row of blocks at once. So, and I can actually show you this. if you jump down here, this is just how I get into the command block works. I actually have 22 command blocks set up, each with a specific row, because I thought that was all you could do. I didn't know you could fill in like whole squares, like multiple rows essentially at once. So like the first one, that first command block I had, it fills in from here to here. The second one, here to here, and so on and so forth. And you may say, oh, that was a lot of wasted time. And it was. It really was. But no, one thing I did get out of it is if we go ahead and we rough this up a little bit, and just doing a straight line will work. There we go. The effect of this is that you get this scrolling pattern that comes back. So it's almost sort of like a happy mistake when I was making this. And I would prefer it this way to just pushing a button, then all of a sudden it's just boom, it's all there. I'd much prefer the scrolling effect. Just it's entertaining. I don't know. It's just something I like. These chests are pointless. This was just me and another buddy. We were playing some Spleef, and we just threw all our stuff in here when we went into survival mode. Another thing you can do is, and this was when I was like half using redstone and I was half using command blocks, and you can actually see if you switch over here, you can see all the redstone work that went into making this arena. And there is not a single command block in anything here. It's all hardwired with redstone. This, on the other hand, has almost no redstone components. There's some repeaters in there, but that's not really. There's no actual redstone dust involved. Let's see. Yeah, the other thing I was going to show is because of this, my original plan. I'll just fill that. All right. My original plan was to have a dispenser filled with stacks of diamond shovels, and then you just press a button and it would spit out a diamond shovel. But then I realized that you can't actually stack diamond shovels. You can't stack shovels at all, just because weapons and tools, they don't work like that. And I was like, oh darn, that means at the most the dispenser would have nine of them at once, which is not very much at all. And considering the fact that when you fall, you're supposed to play this in game mode 0, in survival mode, so that when you fall, you die. And what are you falling into? You're falling into lava, so all your stuff is destroyed. So very, very quickly you would run out of diamond shovels. So instead, I actually just set this up so that it would give the nearest player, I can read this for you. It says, give the nearest player a diamond shovel. And you can see it's a very simple command to give here. You just follow this. We're using the give command, nearest player, and then here's just the ID. And I actually prefer the ID system now to what it was before, because apparently before, and I've never used it before, but I didn't really like the way it looked, you would use numbers. And if you think about the amount of items in Minecraft, that's a lot of items. That is a frick ton of items. Hundreds of items. So I definitely prefer this, because you literally say exactly what it is you want and it'll give it to you. But yeah, so that was just sort of a quick tutorial. I mean, maybe not so quick now, but a quick tutorial on how to make a simple Spleef arena. You can mess around with the numbers, and you can, kind of figure out what you want to do, what shape you want your arena to look like. Important thing to do here is do not, and I repeat, do not start building stuff before you have your arena fully coded and fully under the command block's control. Like all of these cosmetic things I didn't do any of this stuff until I had all my redstone, or my command blocks, actually exact opposite of redstone, until I had all of my command blocks all figured out. I didn't touch any of this, just because you don't want to make a mistake, come up short on something, and then realize, oh crap, I don't have time to finish it, or, you know, I'd have to tear a bunch of the stuff down and it took you forever to do that. So just really, you know, what's that there's like a famous saying that's something stitch in time. Would that apply here? No, I don't think that would apply here. I don't know what I'm talking about. Essentially, just be very careful. Take lots of notes. That's really. I think the MythBusters actually have a phrase. It's not science. Science is just. Oh no, the difference between science and screwing around is in science you write the stuff down, something like that. So take plenty of notes, and I actually did that. I made it essentially look like a whole map of all the different spots I would need command blocks and everything. But now I'm rambling a little bit. So yeah, that is the tutorial. If you like it, leave a like, leave a comment. You know, if you have a suggestion for any other tutorial you might actually like to see, you know, go ahead and give me a comment. If you'd like maybe a video on the actual battle arena, you know, give me a comment on that. I'm thinking of doing some more stuff, maybe a parkour race course, just a lot of different mini games. Yeah. So I guess until next time, guys, I'm the Drunken Bard, and yeah, you guys have a good one.